Spare no expense.
Welcome to Jack and Geek.
I'm Crip.
And I'm the Crypt Keeper. And we're back in Jurassic Month. We're back for Jurassic World. Yeah, there's only so much. There's only so much we can do, y'all, before we get sued. Obviously, you've listened to our first 3 Jurassic podcasts.
Or you've just jumped in here.
And if not, go
catch up.
But it's just the fact that somebody's listening.
Yeah, that's awesome. If this is your first one, hi. If this isn't, nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you again.
This is your first one. Go back and listen to the other ones. We got other episodes.
We have so much content ready for you.
We've already done the original trilogy.
Yeah. Of Jurassic Park.
Now we're doing Jurassic World.
Which is soon to be a trilogy.
We watched Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom. And then once we're done with the Fallen Kingdom one, I think we're going to talk about Dominion a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
But first...
Let's take a shot.
Yo.
That was a little more than a shot.
You good?
Yeah, that filled my whole mouth up.
Oh, yeah.
That was more than just a shot.
Yikes.
So get us started with Jurassic World.
Okay, so a little bit before the movie, a man who is named Simon Masrani basically gets the rights to the islands from Hammond like shortly before he dies. So Simon Masrani owns it even during Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah.
But after Jurassic Park 3, basically Masrani goes to the UN and promises, hey, we're not going to let what happened before happen again. Somehow he convinced the UN to let him lift some of the laws, not all of them, but some of them, to start Jurassic World. Jurassic World, the construction of the park starts in 2000, and the park officially opens in 2005. The movie starts in 2015. So this park has been successful
for 10 years.
For a decade.
Damn.
So they've got a good standing.
I would say, because it's not like we're opening a park. This
No.
park has been going.
Yeah, this park has been going. So the park has been going since 2005. So shortly after Alan makes it off the island, Jurassic Park 3, 4 years, because I believe the movie's in 2001.
Yep.
So 4 years later, Jurassic World opens to the public. So that's crazy.
And it's the same island.
Yeah, it's Isla Nublar. It's the original island. They just built in the south side where Jurassic Park was in the north side. So they basically start working on getting all the people back before they build it. So he got the geneticist Dr. Wu to come back, and he tried to get as many of the old people as he could back, but then he also wanted to like double up on the resource teams. He didn't want to automate everything. He wanted people to be behind the computers to do stuff. He didn't want that small team like we had. So we have like rooms and rooms of tech people for every section, cameras everywhere, top of the line, spare no expense kind of shit. They start getting more dinos, like you see at the beginning of the movie, the Mosasaur.
Yeah.
They get aquatic dinos. They have pterosaurs that are just standard in the park, not a later attraction kind of thing. But we open the movie with the biggest subplot of the entire movie.
Nobody ever cares.
And nobody gave a shit about this subplot, I guarantee.
Nobody.
But we have to mention it at points in time in this movie. There's this family, and the children are being sent to the park.
Well, because their aunt is...
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. They're sent to the park as like a little vacation. Just them, the parents are off, and their aunt is Claire Deering. She's basically the person who's running everything, keeping up with the finances, keeping up with the ins and outs of the inner workings. She's the head honcho, while Simon Masrani is the money pumper.
Yes.
So they're supposed to meet their aunt that day, but they get there and basically they have a babysitter. And Claire's like, well, I have a lot of shit to do today, but tomorrow we're going to do everything.
And she wants to meet them
and
for
they're
dinner.
upset, and I'm like, she runs this whole motherfucker. She's the top honcho. You should understand this.
Yeah.
This kid, the problem I have with this is they treat this kid in the movie as if he's like 6 or 7.
Yes.
But he's clearly like 12 or 13.
Yes. And he cries all the time.
At 12 or 13, you should understand, I have a job. Tomorrow we will go out. And be okay.
Be okay with, hey, I will see you tomorrow.
You are here. You're still going to get to do shit. I will see you tomorrow.
I think she wanted to have dinner with them too. Or
Yeah, she was going to see them later that day. But she had shit to do. So, slight subplot out of the way for now. Claire Deering is talking with investors. You always got to talk to the investors. And they're not so happy with...
It's Verizon.
Yeah, they're not so happy with the financing because things are going down because people are getting used to seeing dinosaurs. It's not as cool as it was when the first part was happening.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you can make dinosaurs. We've had dinosaurs. So they got the idea, let's make a dinosaur. Let's not bring dinosaurs back. Let's make a dinosaur.
Yes.
A Jurassic World branded. This is our creation.
Verizon wants to sponsor this
brand
dinosaur.
New animal.
A brand new dinosaur. Verizon presents.
And so she gives them basically a slight rundown of what they're planning on doing. And so they're like, okay, well, let's see how this goes. Simon Masrani gets there, and he's your carefree rich guy, just like Hammond. Everything's great, spare no expense, we're doing awesome. Claire's trying to go through the finances. He's like, forget the finances, are people happy? Are the dinosaurs happy? Well, people are happy, but there's no way to tell if the dinosaurs are happy. Yes, there are. Look at them.
Yeah, are they eating? Are they healthy? That's happy.
But she doesn't look. She sees them as assets,
numbers.
She doesn't see them as animals.
Yes.
So Simon gets to the enclosure of the new dinosaur, and they're calling it the Indominus Rex.
Indominus Rex.
And he sees it, and it camouflages and uncamouflages at will.
She said, do you think it'll scare the kids? And he said, it'll scare the parents.
Yeah, it'll give the parents nightmares.
Yeah.
And he's like, just for security purposes, I want you to bring in one of the guys that I asked to be here. He's an ex-Navy guy. His name is Owen Grady.
Chris Pratt?
She happens to have known Owen.
No.
And so she has to go approach him. Well, she goes to him, and he's Chris Pratt about it.
Obviously, from what they say,
they have definitely slept together.
They went on a date, but that's it.
They definitely slept.
They didn't sleep together. They didn't sleep together. It
was a hit and run.
It was not a hit and run. She said they went on a date, and then somewhere in the date, something happened, and they decided not to have a second date.
They slept together.
They definitely slept together, dude.
You think so?
They had alcohol just a little bit too much. slept together, and she's like, I can't believe I did that, and took off.
No, the way that I think about it is the way that she reacted, the way that they talk about it, how he's like, who has a planned laminated itinerary for a first date? Well, who wears shorts? They definitely were fucking drinking, and they definitely.
But like I like how he was talking about when they were talking about her saying the asset. He's like, it's an animal. It's got 3 things. I've got to eat, I've got to sleep, and I've got to any motions for
having sex.
And he's like, you can relate to one of those, right? That I feel like that was him hinting at they fucked.
Maybe.
I think.
What do you think?
I think they fucked.
You think they fucked?
I think they fucked, and she dipped in the morning.
I think they fucked. She regretted it, but didn't not hate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like she woke up, she's like, I can't believe I had sex with this guy.
And just dipped. But they go, and I think he had some shit to do first. And then he was like, I'll come check it out later that day. And we get introduced to the raptors that he basically has trained.
Yes.
Blue, Delta, Charlie, Echo. Which is funny that all of them are named after like codes for letters except Blue.
Yeah.
Like that should have been Bravo, but whatever.
But she had a blue stripe, so.
They all kind of have blue in them, but I guess. But he is basically kind of trained them.
Yes.
Because
as much as you can train a wild animal.
And because he kind of trained them, InGen is trying to sell that shit to the military. Instantly, like, let's go. Militarize the fuck out of this.
Yeah.
Because that is a moneymaker.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's no damn way. These raptors are still wild animals and will turn on you in a fucking second.
Yes.
And while he's having that conversation, a guy falls in the paddock. And they're coming. Well, Owen rushes in there and basically uses the training techniques he has made and stops them. He raises his hand, gets their attention, gets them all focused. And I like where he's like, Delta, don't give me that shit. And like Delta kind of like backs up.
Yeah.
It's the respect between the two that they earned for each other.
But the problem is, as soon as he gets eye contact away from him,
they try.
They try to eat him again.
And that's a predator.
Yeah.
But like I like that they've gotten raptors. They've shown that if you do respect them, they will get a semblance of respect back to you.
Yeah.
It's a trust, but they still are animals. But you still can get some level of trust with that. They're not just wild.
Yeah.
But he gets the guy out, and they shut the gates. As soon as they shut the gates, and Owen's not looking at them, they rush.
Yeah.
They try to get through the cage and try to bite the people. So that's if you're not watching,
they'll get you.
They will fucking eat you.
No matter who you are.
Enemy friendly does not matter. They will eat you.
Yeah.
Given any opportunity, any.
That's what raptors do.
Yeah. And that's what they're supposed to do. That's what they're born and raised to do. But that was kind of the example of this is what it's like. So InGen kind of backs off for a minute.
I like how Owen understands that and tells people that. Like he doesn't have that complex that's like, oh, they only listen to me. Like he's like, they listen to me.
But given the opportunity,
but if I turn my back, they're gonna fucking eat me, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
And he's been raising them since they were
since birth.
He
was there at their birth.
Yeah, he imprinted on
them. But even then, the trust they get from imprinting
is only so much.
You're still not a raptor.
Yeah. Which isn't saying much because if they don't like you as a raptor, they'll eat you too.
Yeah. A lot of dinosaurs have been known to eat their own kind.
Could you look back to the original Jurassic Park, and there were 3 raptors, but weren't there originally 4?
I think so, yeah.
And when the one that became the alpha came along, she ate the other one?
My favorite dinosaur, the Majungasaurus, a third of its diet was its own kind.
Really?
They liked territory of one, and if another were to step into its territory, they would fight to the death.
Yeah.
They liked being by themselves except during mating season.
And
So, a third of their diet was each other.
shit.
So, after that, Owen goes and checks out the asset, the Indominus Rex. And he's like, okay, has this thing ever been outside of this? No. So you've had this thing caged up its entire life in this little bitty enclosure.
By itself.
And people do not go in and out of here to socialize with this thing. The only thing that it can have a positive reaction to is when you feed it. That's no bueno.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, here's the meat. Where is it? And she hits the thermal thing because that's how they're usually able to read it. No thermal signature.
And he looks at the wall.
Were those claw marks always there?
And there were claw marks in the wall.
All the way up.
All the way up to the top.
So his first instinct is, this shit done got out.
Done got out.
And they go in, and Claire's calling into the computer people, where's the Indominus Rex? Because every dino is chipped.
Yeah.
And she finally gets the call in after a few minutes. And they're looking around, just kind of looking at the claw marks, looking at everything inside the enclosure. And the guy's like, it's in its enclosure, what's wrong? And they...
Owen and two other guys have went into looking for it.
They're looking around and it uncamouflages.
Yeah.
And starts attacking them. Well, the one guy tries to get out and just opens the main fucking cage.
Opens the main door. Why didn't you try to go back in the elevator?
I don't know.
He was a fat guy. He couldn't run.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you go for the elevator? That would have made more sense. He basically caused this.
When you panic, you don't think.
He caused this entire thing.
They try to shut the door again, but the Indominus is strong enough to bust through the partially open door. And Owen gets under a car and basically breaks the gas line in the car and pours gasoline on himself to hide his scent.
Yes.
Which is smart as shit, and that shows he knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yes. Other dude,
Gets ate.
dude gets eat.
And the first part of this movie, we only get to see really parts of the Indominus.
Yes.
And I thought that was a really cool way to do it, is to lead up to seeing the whole thing.
It's going back to the way they used to do Jaws.
Yeah.
Not showing Jaws until, you had to show the shark.
Yeah. But we get to see, it sniffing under the car, but only smelling the gas and then just leaving.
Yeah.
So now the Indominus is just slowly making its way towards the park because it has thermal vision. And what's the hottest place on this island? The mass groups of people and other animals.
Yeah.
Down south.
Because it was up north away from everything else.
Yes, it was completely separated. And the thing that it's highlighted the most is the park.
Yeah.
So it's going to slowly make its way down there. Back to some subplot.
Back to subplot.
They're kind of going around the park.
The kids.
The kids are going around the park a little bit. We get to see one of my, just favorite little things that they had. It was the baby dino area.
Yeah.
And it had the little kids, you were able to ride them and stuff. I thought that was really cool. Also, I just love the way baby dinos look. It's adorable.
It's a little petting zoo that you can ride the dinos.
I thought that was just a cute little addition. It's something you don't have to have.
Yeah.
But, it's just a nice little addition.
Yeah.
But...
They decide to ditch the babysitter.
Yeah, while the babysitter's on the phone about something, it's hard to tell what she's talking about.
Bitch should have not been on the phone.
Not at all.
Lena Luthor never learns.
Lena Luthor.
They make it to the gyrospheres. The gyrospheres are a cool addition because it's a ball that you control. It's not on a track, and you can basically go into the exhibits.
It goes by itself, or you can control it.
Which is cool, but here's the thing. Like, technologically, it's better.
Yes.
But I just feel like it doesn't have the same class and, like, aesthetic that the Jeeps have. I just like the Jeeps better.
I'm cool with the gyrosphere.
The gyrospheres are awesome, don't get me wrong. But I just loved the fucking vibe you got from the old Jeeps.
Yeah. What about you?
Classic Jeeps.
Classic Jeeps?
Oh, yeah.
They actually do that in Jurassic World Evolution. The world ones will have the gyrospheres on a track, but like the park ones have the Jeeps on tracks. And I think that's awesome.
That's one of the games that we'll get to in our Jurassic gaming podcast.
Yes.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
But they get on the gyrospheres and they're kind of in the herbivore area. Well, as they're getting way out there, there's a call to shut down the park. So they start shutting it down, and the little screen tells them to go back. But
Big Brother
is trying to help little brother because little brother found out our parents are having a divorce. But he's trying to be a good big brother, and he's like, "We're VIP, bro. Don't worry about it." And he goes, and they get further down. The fence is broken at the bottom. VIP, baby. We get to see what's going on. Stupid, but hey, you do shit to cheer up your
Very
little brothers.
stupid.
You do shit to cheer up your little brothers. I get it.
It's Big Brother shit.
They go down past the broken fence, and they get bumped around by some dinos, and then it's like there's 5 dinos. It's like, are you stupid? There's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the little brother points at the reflection of a mouth. He goes 5, and the Indominus Rex is up above the gyrosphere and starts attacking at them, and basically picks them up and bashes the gyrosphere down on them over and over, and they have to like slide real quickly before it bashes it down again and get out of there. They start running from it, and I cannot believe they outrun this thing for even a minute.
I know, what the fuck?
Maybe it takes a minute for that thing to get started.
I mean, another one of our podcasts, Camp Cretaceous, that we're going to be doing, they get away from dinosaurs, and you know that shit should have got them 100 damn times.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they get away and they jump off this cliff into the water, and I think the Indominus was just like, "Fuck, that's high," and just backed off.
They're like, fuck this, I don't want to get wet right now.
And then it cuts to Owen and Claire. They're basically looking for them because they were told your nephews are not with the babysitter. Shit's bad.
Yeah.
Everybody's going nuts. So they're basically following their tracks because there's also tracking on the gyrosphere. And they get to the place where they jumped off, and he's like, "You should probably go back." And she does this whole thing where she unbuttons her shirt and ties it, and he's like, "What the hell is that supposed to mean?"
Yeah, what the hell? That don't mean shit to me.
And
You're still wearing fucking
and
heels.
she's like, "That means I'm going with you."
You're still wearing heels, bitch.
I think this is where they get back to the raptor paddock. Is this where they get back to the raptor paddock?
No.
No, not yet.
No, this is where they find the original Jurassic Park.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They find the original park. They
Yeah, they hotwired the Jeep, and then start getting out of that area, and then Owen and Claire get there, and like shortly after, They're like
I would
close.
say it's like 2
They're
minutes
like a
after
few
they
minutes
left.
after him.
Yeah.
They're not far behind.
And they try to get the other Jeep, and it's not working. He puts his gun down. The Indominus Rex shows up.
Yeah.
And starts sniffing around. Owen goes and slowly reaches around for his gun.
Which is stupid.
And it busts through the fucking building. A lot of running in this movie.
A lot of running in this movie. A lot of cardio.
Well, you see the Indominus Rex in the same place that the T-Rex was in the original.
Yeah, I thought
movie.
that was a really nice homage to the famous area of the T-Rex. These movies definitely pay respects to the originals. These definitely weren't a. This is the new Jurassic Park. This was definitely a. We're just continuing off of what was there before. A lot of times things will say this is the new, the improved.
Yeah.
This was not that. This was a love for the previous and just expansion.
Yes, this was a sequel to the original Jurassic Park movies rather than a reboot.
Yes. They call it a soft reboot, but I don't call this a reboot. This is just another sequel.
Just another sequel.
It's another sequel with a bigger time jump.
It may be called Jurassic World, but it's Jurassic Park 4.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so they get out of the visitor center, and then God, there's so much.
I know.
It's hard to tell what's running.
The boys show up at the gate in the Jeep. And they get the people to let them in.
Yeah.
And that's when we get Owen and Claire getting back.
To the Raptor paddock?
To the Raptor paddock.
Yeah, and the engine guy is like, you have an asset that we want to get our hands back on. Use the Raptors.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's no damn way. And he's like, this is no longer your decision.
Okay, what we have skipped is Ms. Ronhi doing his, going after the Indominus. We missed the people going after the Indominus.
Did he already do the helicopter thing?
Yes. Yes, because while they're going in the Jeep, the pterodons are coming behind.
Yeah, they got into the aviary.
Yes. What we missed was the fact that Ms. Ronnie, what's his name? Ms. Ronnie.
M.A.S. Ronnie.
Ms. Ronnie decided he was going to take a machine gun and a damn gun in his helicopter.
The ACU units were not prepped to fly a helicopter at the moment because the ACU ground people just got eaten.
Yeah.
So, also, missed another thing. My bad. Wow. It literally tore the tracker out of itself.
Yeah.
Yes. It's smart.
It understood. It remembered from birth when they put the tracker in where it was. So it tore it out. ACU people tracked it down and got eaten. So they didn't have AC units ready for flying the helicopters out. Masrani was 2 days away from getting his helicopter license. And so they are shooting the Indominus Rex with like this fucking minigun thing.
Yeah.
And shitty shot.
Horrible shots.
Either that or this thing is able to tank hundreds.
No, they were just missing. No, they were missing. This thing should have died. They should have been able to kill it right then.
And they end up crashing into the aviary, unleashing all of the pterosaurs on the people of the park.
And some of them look like mini tigers.
Yes, the Dimorphodon just look a lot like the tigers.
Monster Hunter, baby.
But the pterosaurs just as violent as any predator.
And they cause more of the problem with the people than the Indominus does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're heavy predators. So they start eating people, pecking at people, picking people up and dropping them. The Indominus is still getting closer. but they're about to use the Raptors.
They decide to evacuate
Yes,
the island.
they start to evacuate the island. The babysitter straight up gets picked up by pterosaurs. They're fighting over her, and then she gets eaten by a mosasaur along with the pterosaur or the pteranodon that was carrying her.
Yeah.
Which I would much rather get eaten by a mosasaur than a pteranodon. A pteranodon would be a slow death. With a mosasaur, you get swallowed like a pill.
But you
don't.
may not die right away.
I don't care. That's better than getting pecked at.
I'm going to beat the shit out of one of those things.
Oh my god,
We're going to have this argument again?
Yeah, we're going to have this argument again.
That thing is like 5 times your size.
I'm going to beat the
It's
shit
going
out
to
of
beat the shit out of you.
No, fuck that.
Oh my god. We had that whole conversation. Maybe you could take a Dimorphodon, but a Pteranodon would peck the fuck out of you, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
Beat shit out of it. Punch it in the face.
And you'd probably break your hand because the face is made of mostly just bone.
Probably. But I'm punching it.
And you'd break your hand and then it'd just eat your hand.
You need to do Big Gear.
Huh.
You need to shank it.
Shank it?
Yeah, shank it.
Shank, shank, shank it.
So they're evacuating the park. They get the kids.
They get the kids. They find the kids.
And so they drive back to the setup that's getting built at the Raptor paddock. They've got like a big, I don't know what you'd call this, like an emergency vehicle.
Yeah.
And Claire gets in there with the boys. The boys are in the back of it. And Owen's getting set up on a bike while they're putting like night vision cams
Yeah.
on the Raptors' heads. And
They basically say, we're doing this with or without you.
he's like, I've got to do this.
I'm the only one that they're going to listen to.
I noticed something at that scene of the movie where the Raptors were in the paddock with the cages on their mouths.
Yeah.
You know, that was an actual toy back in the day.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That was an actual toy, and they put it in the fucking movie there.
Cool.
Damn. they did a lot of the toy lines for these newer movies,
Yeah.
which was pretty cool because the hybrid thing is Chaos Effect. So they're going after the Indominus Rex using the chunk of meat that it tore out of itself to get the tractor out.
Yeah.
So that the Raptors have the scent and they're running after it. And previously, he asked what the Indominus was made out of. And they said, well, the base genome is T-Rex. Everything else is classified. And they finally get to the Indominus because the Raptors kind of stop and they start calling out. And it uncamouflages, comes out, and starts speaking to the Raptors. And
Owen's like,
I know what the other part of the Indominus is.
yeah,
It's a raptor.
it's a raptor.
And the fucking raptor team turns on him.
Yep.
And so now they got to deal with raptors and the Indominus.
Yep.
And this, he even told them, do not fire until I say anything. And they just start firing right away.
Yeah.
And one of them, in all of this action, gets blown the fuck up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which was like, whoa,
Fuck you, raptor.
for real. It was a cool scene, though. Watch people get fucked up by these things. I think it was Blue that went after the guy that was, like, training them with Owen.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
Blue's the only one that kind of snaps out of that kind of thing the Indominus put him under.
They found a new alpha, basically.
Yeah, they found a new alpha, but Owen's kind of like, I'm the original alpha.
Yeah.
And Blue's like, yeah, you right.
Yeah, you're right.
After that whole attack happened, Claire is basically leaving the area, getting ready to evacuate the kids, and driving down this way, and they're getting chased.
By one of the raptors.
Yeah.
And I thought that scene was pretty cool. Just the doors open and flapping, and
Yeah.
the raptor getting closer and closer. Owen comes out and helps them, and is basically like, "Follow me."
I think it's funny when the older kid looks at her and goes, "Your boyfriend's awesome."
And she kind of smiles a little bit.
It smiles a little bit. Bitch.
They get to the main area of the park, and they're trying to avoid the Indominus, but that motherfucker can break through walls.
Yep.
And it's getting into whatever they are trying to hide in. Blue shows up and starts trying her best to take down the Indominus, but I like how the kid phrased it. We need more teeth.
Need more teeth.
I thought that was a fucking really cool way to say we need more. And so Claire's like, word. And she grabs some flares and she's like, I need you to open, I think it's paddock 9.
Paddock 9.
And one of the tech guys that stayed behind was like, are you serious? And she's like, just be a man and do it. And he was like, you didn't have to make it personal. Jeez.
I love him. He's such a good actor.
Yeah.
He's been in so much.
And so he opens the paddock and she lights the flare and Rexy comes out. Good old Rexy. I know it's a different Rex, obviously, but like, that's still good old Rexy.
You can't not have a Rex.
And so she comes out, starts chasing Claire. She's running down this long stretch, and she throws the flare towards the Indominus, and the Rex is like, oh, this motherfucker wants to come and play.
Yeah.
And my favorite parts of these movies is when dinosaurs fight. This is probably the coolest part of the movie. Just when they are hashing it out. Just beating the fuck out.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Rex is losing.
Yeah, but just visually, it's awesome seeing them just fucking biting at each other.
Yeah.
I think it was very unique how they made it where the T-Rex and the Raptor was teamed up against the
Yeah.
Indominus.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And I like how they did it at different angles. Like you're seeing the humans running, and like just the feet of the dinos doing their dance and their fight. It was very well choreographed.
Visually, a very beautiful movie.
Yes. But they team up and fuck up the Indominus, get it close to the Mosasaur lagoon, and then the Mosasaur just like, chomp,
Just comes up out of the water, grabs it, and pulls it back
and
down.
then kind of just does like a little scoop back into
Yeah.
the lagoon.
No, I'm full.
And they're like, I don't think it's coming back.
I don't think it's coming back.
I don't think you're gonna come back from that one, bud. After that, the T-Rex and the Raptor kind of look at each other, and they're kind of like, "I'm gonna go do my shit. You go do your shit." And it's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do my shit." And so they just walk away from each other. There's no reason to fight right now. They're not being territorial. My territory's over here. Your territory's over there. Let's just separate. And so they do. So it kind of does like a little flash forward.
Yeah.
I think it's like that morning.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of got like towels around them, bandaged up and stuff.
The trauma blankets.
Yeah, the trauma blankets.
Wrap up of the subplot.
And then the parents of the kids are there.
Holding hands.
Holding hands, so they didn't get a divorce.
No, they're still going to get a divorce.
And then, who cares? We're never going to see this subplot again.
We're never going to see the subplot again.
Hopefully. We'll still have one more movie.
Yeah.
But Claire and Owen kind of get together, and they're like, I think we need to stick together. And so that's kind of, ooh, they got together kind of thing, but it doesn't like hint.
It's hinted at, like, will they, won't they? It's like the will they, won't they of this movie just continues.
Yeah. But that's kind of
the movie.
That's
where it
pretty
wraps
much
up.
the movie. I mean,
That's where it wraps up. I said we're going to be talking about Camp Cretaceous. That's going to fill in a lot
Yeah.
when we do that.
It's a pretty straightforward movie. They made a hybrid. Shit went bad. Jurassic Park.
Yeah, but if it was all down to that one guy, if he hadn't opened that door, none of this would have happened.
It's always down to that one guy.
It's very much
Hey,
like the
Dennis
first one.
Nedry.
Dennis
You
Nedry.
know, they should have called the Jurassic World movie Jurassic World Chaos Theory or Chaos Effects.
Chaos Effect.
Jurassic World and the guy that should stop opening doors.
Yeah.
Damn.
Just don't let people that are bad work there.
It's very much like the first one in the sense that it's very straightforward.
Yeah.
There's one big problem, someone does something that helps that problem, and then the park goes to shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first one.
But there was a lot of action that, like, we can't express the action through
Very well.
words.
Yeah.
It's definitely a watch it movie and find out for yourself, but I enjoy it.
I enjoyed
liked
it.
it.
I think it's a fun addition. I think it expands the world without disrespecting what came before.
Yeah. I like stuff like this rather than full reboot.
There's just so many movies that reboot and just shit on the original.
Yeah.
And this is very, very respectful.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it. It was a good mix-up with a hybrid, but I'm also kind of happy that Dominion won't be a hybrid movie.
Yeah.
I got one more thing to say before we end the episode.
What's that?
I don't know if y'all noticed this in the movie, but you know that lab scene where Chris Pratt goes into to talk to scientists?
Yeah.
Oh, you pay attention very closely in the background, you see a computer of a screen of another hybrid dinosaur, and it's a Stegoceratops.
Yes.
That's cool.
Well, I told them that while we were watching the movie. I was like, you can see different hybrids if you look closely.
Did they do the raptor eye thing in this one or in the next one?
What, the Indoraptor?
That when they were...
It's in the next one.
Is it in the next one?
That's in the next one.
But yeah.
So, out of 10,
Probably a 7.
7.
7.
7.
Yeah, it's good. It's not the best, but it's definitely a good film.
Yeah.
You could definitely have watched that and been somewhat known of what Jurassic Park was and go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. All you gotta know is Jurassic Park happened.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I think it's a good jumping off point. I think they did good with what they had.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really awesome that they tied it with the originals. It was so intertwined, just like the old ones, that they connected them.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't take the time to do that, and I respect that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Good movie.
Okay. Well, we will see you on our next one.
Hey, y'all didn't spiel.
Oh, let's do the spiel.
Wow.
Damn.
God.
Follow us on our Instagram at Jack_and_GeekPod. Follow us on our Facebook, Jack and Geek Pod. On our TikTok, Jack_and_GeekPod. All those will be available in our link tree on our Instagram. We post you already know. We post content on one that might not be on the other, and vice versa.
If you have any ideas for another month that you want us to do something, I've got an idea, but I don't know if we want to do it. But if you'll just give us some comments, hit us up, jackandgeekpodcast@gmail.com.
And I'm pretty sure I'll have to go through, but on our Facebook, I did set up messaging or Messenger, so it is open. If you guys have any comments or suggestions or whatever, don't necessarily want to go through the Gmail, that's open on there too, on our Facebook at Jack and Geek Pod again. And yeah.
Patreon,
or if you want to support us, our Patreon is Jack and Geek Podcast on Patreon. For $5 a month, we'll give you a shout out. We have a $20 a month tier. That's for contests that we haven't set up another one yet. We've already done one. Yeah, give us some money and we'll do some extra stuff for you.
Give us money.
Thank you, Emily and Noah, again. Our
Let's
number
go.
one Patreons.
We'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.